this is a boss you would want to use one of these weapons on. Hello people of the internet, Spaz here. Welcome to another 1.4.4 video, and today I'm going to be testing out two weapons that I think, well, really one weapon, but I'm testing it against another weapon to prove my point. And the weapon I'm questioning today is the Superstar Shooter. I've supported this weapon in the past, but after looking at it again, I feel like maybe it's not really that worth it. The counterpart to the Superstar Shooter, or the precursor, the Star Cannon, the damage isn't really that different, and you guys may see what I mean. So, Superstar Shooter, no Star Cannon, with melee loadout here that you may have around the time you get the Superstar Shooter, since it's a post-mechanical boss weapon now. This is the DPS on the Star Cannon. So we're getting about 2,300, 2,400 DPS. Pretty good. And let's go for the Superstar Shooter. Okay, so you get roughly 900 to 1,000 more DPS. Looking more on the 900 side to me at this point. Which, 900 damage is nothing to, like, really scoff at. Yes, there is more damage. Obviously, if it didn't have more damage, that would be a big problem. But here's my point. Let's test it on Mr. Destroyer, because he's usually the boss people like to test this weapon on. And there we go. Now where's the clump? There's the clump. Okay guys, it's Frost Moon time, and we have the werewolf buff now, since it's night. And I'm wearing the sexy moon shell. This is Star Cannon. Keep in mind we have no buffs on. Again, we're getting like 2,000 DPS, 400, 2,500 DPS. When there's multiple enemies. And keep in mind, this is Master Mode for the Worthy. And the Star Cannon is doing this good. Not even the Forge, keep in mind. Just with Ranger gear on. And then you got this. The DPS for single and double targets isn't that much different, honestly. Now, it's hitting multiple enemies right now, and it's getting roughly the same amount of DPS as the Star Cannon is getting. For a weapon that you would get after the mechanical bosses, that's an upgrade of a weapon that was already really good in the hard mode. You would expect it to be more, right? Alright, so overall, I just don't really think this Superstar Shooter is actually that worth it. I did, again, support it in the past, but looking back on it, it really doesn't really seem like something you should invest your resources on, especially if you're playing on not on a Dream Mode character, because that's hallowed bars, man. And if you waste hallowed bars, you gotta fight the mechs again. Now, of course, a good example of an upgrade is the Mega Shark. That thing is much superior over the Mini Shark, because the Mini Shark can barely do anything. In hard mode. However, speaking of the Mega Shark, well, is it really worth getting? I don't think so, because there is another weapon you can get earlier in the game. It's very similar to the Mega Shark on damage, and what is that weapon? Well, it is the good old Uzi. Oh yes, the weapon the jungle brings to school with it to bring to recess is going up against the Mega Shark. So let's go. So the Uzi has piercing potential for 3 targets, and it's getting about 1,100 DPS. But the Mega Shark has no piercing ability and gets about half that DPS of the Uzi for a single target. What does the Uzi get for a single target? Well, similar. Very similar. It literally just went over 500 there for a split second. Now it's getting about 450 so DPS. Alright, time to test it on something else. Alright, we have the Destroyer here. DPS on Destroyer is not that great. You're not supposed to use this on the Destroyer. I was hoping the clump would be up above land, but it wasn't because the Destroyer is being a little ass clown. Oh, there it is. Alright, so DPS, not the greatest. About 350 or so, I would say. Not that great. Then if we switch to Uzi, has piercing potential. Oh man, that's look at that. Almost double the DPS of the Mega Shark. See, for Ranger, you can actually use this weapon against the Destroyer. Now, the Mega Shark you wouldn't have against the Destroyer. You get it from the Destroyer.
Later.
Alright, so, we're going to test this weapon on more stuff. What could that stuff be? Well, let's go see. So, we have come to the ocean. And that means we're fighting Fishron. This is a boss you would want to use one of these weapons on. Now we're fighting him. And the Uzi's getting about 200 DPS on Mr. Fishy here. Oh, let's try the Mega Shark. What do you get? Extremely similar DPS. The DPS is almost identical on this weapon to the Uzi. Now, I was always under the impression that the Uzi is not as good. But looking at this now, the Uzi is almost identical to this weapon. And you can get the Uzi from the start of hard mode, instead of having to wait after the mechanical boss. So, why? My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day's ruined. For that, I need you to kill the arm dealer. No, you killed the slime! Goodbye. But yeah, guys, that's going to be the video for today. Quite short. I'm having trouble having time to make these boss guides, so I just wanted to post something small for you guys. Hopefully I'll be able to post my next boss guide soon. Hopefully it will make you think a little bit before you choose your weapons in Terraria, because there's always maybe an alternative that could be, you know, not too different and be a lot less horrible for you to get. So, just a fruit for thought. Subscribe for more content from me, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Goodbye.